Hi friends, welcome to Storytime with the LA Conservancy. Today we're going to be going on a journey that takes us all over the world. Brick, who's the main character of our story, is in search of a place where she feels that she belongs. She'll visit buildings that are made of brick just like her to see if that's where she fits in. Brick, for those who might not know, is a type of material that you get when you mix up red clay, dirt, and water and you form it into a rectangular shape. Here's a photo to give you a better idea. Chances are you've probably seen a brick building or bricks in your neighborhood. The title of today's story is Brick Who Found Herself in Architecture, written by Joshua David Stein and illustrated by Julia Rothman. Before we get started and find out where Brick finds where she belongs, I'd also like to talk about architecture. Architecture is a word that refers to the style of buildings. Just like you and I are wearing different clothes based on what we like and fashion, buildings have different styles based on how the architect, the person who drew or designed the building, wanted it to look like. See, all of the buildings on this cover have a different look, and that is called architecture. So let's keep reading to find out where Brick finds where she belongs. In this story, Brick Who Found Herself in Architecture. When Brick was just a baby, tall buildings amazed her. She wondered how anything could grow so big. Great things begin with small bricks, her mother said. Look around you, you'll see. So Brick looked around. She saw that the homes on her street were made of bricks just like her. When she looked closer, she saw that the fire station, the schoolhouse, and the post office, which all seemed so grand to her, were made of brick too. She wondered if this was the same on the next street and the street after that and in the next town and the town after that. Were there bricks across the ocean in lands far away? Brick wondered where she fit into all of this. What great things might she become? As Brick grew, so did her curiosity. Soon, but not too soon, she was old enough to embark upon a journey of her own to find her place in the world. So on a clear moonlit night, Brick set sail. It was a long and dangerous voyage, but Brick proved to be brave. By the time she made landfall, Brick was hardened by the sun and heartened by her own strength. She began to explore at once. First, she visited a castle on the banks of a river, with slits for shooting arrows and high walls all around. Next, she visited another very old castle, this one built in the middle of a desert. But as she peered at the walls of these castles, she saw the scars that years of fighting had caused. Brick did not want to fight, so she moved on. Have you noticed scars on buildings in your neighborhood? Why do you think those scars are there? Next time you're on a walk outside, think about that and why those scars may be there. What story do you think those scars would tell about the building? She journeyed to fantastic churches, spiraling mosques, and splendid synagogues until she arrived at a towering Buddhist temple nestled among the fig trees. These places of worship filled her with awe, for their beauty was divine, but they did not call out to her, and so she kept going. She walked atop walls that snaked as far as she could see, but walls divide, and that was not what Brick wanted to do, so her journey continued. Brick loved the hustle and bustle of family life. Perhaps she could become a home and listen to the laughter of children as they played, keep them warm as they slept. So Brick visited apartment buildings on crowded city streets where homes were stacked on top of one another. In smaller towns, she walked by rows of brick houses that looked exactly alike. In the country, she passed a single brick cottage with a chimney that was billowing smoke and a welcome glow in the windows. But homes eventually empty, and hearts grow cold. No, Brick shivered, I will not be a home either. What was there left to be? Brick lost hope. As she walked, she thought of her journey thus far and all that she had seen. Do you remember what Brick saw so far? She visited religious institutions or places where people could pray. She visited homes. She visited different types of buildings that were made of brick. But she didn't like any of them so far. Where will she end up? When she could go no farther, she sat down and thought some more. Great things begin with small bricks, she repeated. Then she let go of the words and just felt the feeling. Day became night, but still, Brick didn't stir. And then suddenly, it dawned on her, maybe Brick could just stay right where she was. After all, her journey had led her exactly here. Perhaps here was the perfect place to be. And so she became part of a wide and lovely path along which other bricks could travel to find their own places in the world. For not only do great things begin with small bricks, but great journeys do too. All of the places that Brick visited in her journey are real buildings that are all over the world that are made of brick. She visited those buildings and they all looked different. And remember, we talked about that earlier. They look different on the outside. Their styles are different. And that style of buildings is referred to as a term architecture. So now when you visit a different building, think about that and think about what the architecture is and why it looks that certain way. And if you happen to come across a brick building, think about what Brick's journey was for it to end up there. Today, we're going to be using our imagination to create a brick of our own. And I created this brick character using one sheet of paper. You can use any different color, and I'll show you with an example that I have here. This is a computer size, which is 8.5 by 11 inches sheet of paper. It can be smaller or bigger based on what you have. And I made my brick by having a series of folds. The first fold that you will make will be folding the paper in half, like so. So the short end to the short end, and some people call this hamburger style. That's the first fold. The second fold is that you'll open it like this, and you'll fold each of the short ends to the center fold you just created. So for example, I'll fold it in like this. So it will look like this, with two folds towards the center. The next fold will be your last fold, and you'll do the same thing on each side. So I'm going to just open up one side, and I'm going to turn it upside down so I can show you better, like this. And I'm going to open up the other side and fold it to the very first fold that I have here. So it'll look like this. And you'll do that to the other side. Just turn it upside down, open it up, and fold this end now to the very first fold, just like you did on the other end. So it'll be like this. So to recap, first fold that you'll have is in half. Second fold that you'll have will be in the center. And then the third fold that you'll have is you'll open it up and fold each of the short edges, which is called the width of the paper, to the first fold to look like this. And you'll do that again on the other side. Once you have all those folds, your paper will look like this, and it'll have 6 rectangles on the front. You'll take the front on each end and fold it in to get your rectangular brick. I'll show you that one more time. So I took the 2 rectangles on the very end, and I kind of rolled them in together to create my rectangular brick. Now you just glue these 2 ends together and you decorate it however you'd like. As you can see, I added some stars and some polka dots because I wanted my brick to have some fun as my brick ventures out through my neighborhood. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you take your brick outside when you're going for a walk and go on an adventure and learn about the architecture in your neighborhood. I'll see you next time on Storytime with the LA Conservancy. Thank you.